Matt here. So I'm gonna restart my top fives again and top tens because I quite enjoy doing them. So to get back into the swing of things, my first top five is going to be my top five worst Xbox 360 games. Now you might be asking why Xbox 360 games? Well, the simple answer is when I was thinking about my top five worst games, for some reason a lot of the ones that came into mind were ironically ones on the Xbox 360, which is strange because it was my console for the seventh generation. So let's get into the swing of things. So at number five is Bulletstorm. So what's wrong with Bulletstorm, you might ask? Well, basically it's kind of a generic first-person shooter, and generic shooters just don't do it for me anymore. It's a disappointing game. I mean, it's by the people of Gears of War, epic game. So you think, oh, it'd be a good game. Well, it's the most linear game. It's an extremely linear game. The actual kind of gameplay is very basic, and while there is variety in terms of how you kill enemies, it's still pretty dull. There's a scoring system throughout the whole game, so you're constantly being judged, so you don't really get to just mess about, so I find that quite unfortunate. The characters aren't very likeable in the game. They're not interesting at all. The story itself isn't very interesting. The multiplayer is very repetitive and samey. It's just not really a good game, in my opinion. Now, strangely enough, at number four is Dead Island. So the first Dead Island, not Riptide, not Dead Island 2, that's not even out yet. So you might ask, what's wrong with Dead Island? It was originally, what's the word to put it? It was originally said to be basically Fallout with zombies, and that it just didn't live up to that. The game was extremely buggy at launch, extremely buggy. The multiplayer was just a basic survivor mode. Weapons, although there was a variety of weapons, etc., it didn't feel any different. All the weapons kind of felt samey. Guns were very limited. Characters, again, not interesting. The story wasn't interesting. It really didn't wow me, to be honest. So I think it was pretty poor for a game. So at number three is Red Faction Armageddon. What can I say about this game? Extremely generic third-person shooter. An extremely disappointing game as a follow-up to Red Faction Guerrilla. I just wasn't impressed by the characters. Completely unrelatable again, not likeable characters. The story, I couldn't even tell there was a story for most of the game. The combat is so generic, boring, dull. There's no variety. You don't feel interested. It doesn't keep you captivated. As soon as I actually did complete the game. As soon as I completed it, I never picked it up again. The multiplayer, once again, it's just another survival game. I couldn't get on with it. So at number two is Lost Planet 2, ironically. This is a bad game, as well as being an extremely disappointing. I think they didn't put any effort into doing it personally. Fair enough, that's the only Lost Planet game I've played. I didn't play the first one or the third one, but apparently that's still the worst one, and 3 got a pretty bad grilling as well. What can I say about it? It's another third-person shooter, but your character's so small on the screen the whole emphasis is on 16. It says 16-player multiplayer. I never did that. I didn't even know they had that. 4-player co-op again. Who cares? Yeah, the combat's extremely repetitive. The aliens just get annoying at times because of how big they are compared to how small you are. It just the story's not interesting. I wasn't at all interested in it whatsoever. I think one of the disappointments is it's actually made by Capcom, so you know it's made by Capcom, and Capcom really haven't got a very good reputation these days for making their games. You know, they're just not releasing games from their popular franchise, or they're doing a bad half-assed job of it, and Lost Planet series just needs to go away now, I feel. Although that's maybe not fair of me to say because I haven't played Lost Planet 3, but there you go. So, on to the final one. This is by far my worst Xbox 360 game. Rage. The game was buggy. The multiplayer is just shit. I will say that now, it's just shit. It's driving. The multiplayer in this game is the driving. That's it. There's no, as far as I know, there's no combat. Why is it a bad game? It's from the creators of Doom and Quake. It says it on the box. This is nowhere near the quality of Doom or Quake games. It's published by Bethesda, one of my favourite publishers and developers. Well, the story, there isn't a story as far as I can tell. I played the game through. There was no story. It ended on a cliffhanger. It never got a sequel because it's so shit. The mini games are crap. The combat's just half-assed. It's literally, I looked at this game and I thought this is the worst possible version of a Fallout game. This is what would happen if they rushed a Fallout game so badly, made it so uninteresting. It was just rubbish. Okay, the driving was shit. The shooting was shit. The quest was shit. The characters, the characters were just there. I wasn't interested whatsoever. It says on the back here it's a winner of more than 20 E3 awards. 20 E3 awards. I can't even think of one award it deserves to win, except for crap. The crappiest piece of shit ever. You know, it's just rubbish. It was boring. I felt this was boring, and the worst thing is I paid full price for this game. I paid £45 or £40 for it, and it was absolute crap. I wouldn't even say this game is worth £10. Okay, I wouldn't even say this game's worth £5. It's just shit. You know, honestly, it was just rubbish. It's such a disappointment. You know. So, you know, there are plenty of other 360 games that I really thought were quite rubbish, but I thought I'd limit myself to a top 5 for this instead of doing a top 10. Yeah, so basically I'm going to start doing my top 5s again. This was just a kind of starter again. There will be plenty more top 5s and top 10s to come. I might do a top 5 best of a certain platform soon. Maybe not one that's not many people have maybe a handheld perhaps, cause, you know, that's a bit more, I suppose it'd be easier for me to do. Yep, so basically guys, as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Bye now.